Kreations. Well, I hope you liked the picture I just showed. That is the project I wanted to show you how to make that today. I actually got this project from a post on Facebook. I'm sure some of my followers who also follow Facebook might have already seen this photo, so I want to give a disclosure. This is not my original idea. I'm totally scraplifting it from Facebook. But I really liked it, and so I wanted to copy it. It's a very easy project, very quick project. So we're going to just go ahead and dive right in and show you how to make it. The first thing you need to do is download the font you want to use. Now in the original picture, I really like the font they used, so we're going to download that font, but you can use any font that you like. So the font that they used was called Tangerine Font, and here it is down here. This one is from Font Space, and in the description below, I'll give you the link. But it's the Tangerine font. So make sure you download that. Once you've downloaded it by clicking right here, once you've downloaded it, make sure to install it onto your computer before opening Silhouette software so it's there. Alright, so once it is installed, it should be in your software. So we're going to go ahead and start with the first part. The first part says, we show you my finished one here, it says laundry today. So that's the first part we're going to start with. So it's very important before you start this that you do need to measure your window on your washer and dryer because they are different. Mine measured 14 inches and I want to allow about 2 inches on each side. So I want my longest word to be 10 inches or I want the entire thing to be as long as 10 inches. So as you can see on the first word, laundry and today, I want that to be right around 10 or 11 inches. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and start with laundry. So I just type it and then I bring it completely get off it and get back on, and then I just play around with the different sizes. So at 144 it's still only 8.97, and basically what I do is I just keep going until I find the size I like. So I'll click you know, right here 175, which is exactly kind of where I want it to be. So that's figuring about 10.9 inches. So the next word will say today. So what I did on this one is you just click here, type today. I always click off of it. And then you can do this one of two ways. You can size it by going like this and finding it, or once again you can play around with the spacing over here. Either way is fine. I just kind of like to do the number over here so that way I kind of have a good idea of what I did. So let's try 245 on this. And that's a little too big. So once again, you can keep playing around with the numbers or you can just resize it, all up to your own preference. I believe on this one I ended up going to 35. And that looks about right. Now what you want to do is you want to highlight all of this and then come up here where these three lines are and go ahead and hit align center. And that's going to line it to where it is nice and even on both sides. So that one looks good. We're going to draw a box around it. We're going to right click on it and we're going to group this. And then we can move it towards the top. So the second piece we need to create is the or naked tomorrow. Now the easiest way I found on this is to start with the naked part. And the reason why is I'm all about utilizing the other letters to center it. So I'm going to start with the naked part. Now the naked and today are the exact same size. So I know that that needs to be 235. Okay, and then what we're going to be doing is the next thing we're going to create is the or. Now the or fits right above the K. So as you can see in the one that I already have done, it's going to go right above that K. So we know it's ... or, and it's the 72-inch size is actually perfect for this. And then I just put it over the K, and then the last one is tomorrow. And then that one's going to go right under here. So once again, we just need to increase the size to whatever. So you can once again kind of play around with the size to see what looks best. So this one here is at 144. That's obviously too big. So let's go ahead and try 25, which looks really good. I like that. So once again, we're going to draw a box around this. And we're going to come up here to these 3 lines, and we're going to go align center. And that's going to center it. Then we're going to go ahead and draw another box around it, and we're going to right click and group it. Okay. Now you could, if you wanted to get technical to make sure that these are the same size, you could align both of these and kind of get a feel if they're about the same size. I'm not that worried about it. I'm not going to be that worried about it. So anyways, next thing we need to do is send this over to our silhouette. Now it's really important because I always do this. I get excited to cut and I forget to change my settings. So don't forget to change your settings. Make sure you go in there and go ahead and look for vinyl. And then make sure everything's set up, because if not, it's going to rip your vinyl and it'll be very sad. So we want to change that blade to 2. Speed is 8, thickness is 9, and we're going to go ahead and hit cut, and then we will go ahead and get this transferred over to our washer and dryer. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get our vinyl ready to go. Now, I went ahead and used white vinyl. You can use any vinyl you want. I did use a new silhouette mat and a new blade just because vinyl sometimes can be tricky for me. So I used white vinyl. Make sure when you're pushing down your vinyl you have no bubbles. Make sure your hands are clean because you don't want to get any dirt on the white because it's very hard to get off the white. Now, earlier we said we need to make sure that we change our blade to a 2. So we're going to go ahead and go in there and change that to a 2. And then we're going to make sure nothing's in the back here to obstruct my vinyl from coming through. Alright, and now that we've already changed the settings on the computer, we're going to go ahead and make sure it still says that we are doing vinyl, which is right here. We have 8 speed, 9 thickness, number 2, and so we're going to go ahead and hit cut. To show you while this is printing where my dogs like to on all my craft projects. So there's my computer. I sit there and do all my designs there. And here's 2 of my dogs. Oh, here comes my 3rd dog. And they seem to think they can all fit under this table while I do my projects. So it's very cramped in here when I do my projects. Hi, baby girl. Just had to show you that my dogs seem to think that they need to be in here when I'm doing my crafting. A little behind the scenes. Say goodbye, Maya. Bye. Bye, Doobie-Doo. Oh. Baby dogs. Alright, it is all done cutting, so we're going to go ahead and unload this. And now that it's out, what we need to do now is we need to go ahead and get this ready to transfer. So we're going to go ahead and peel away everything here that we don't need. And then I like to leave it on the mat here. And then I'll use transfer tape to transfer this onto my washer and dryer. So I'm going to go ahead and get this all taken off, and then I'll show you how we put the transfer tape on. Okay, so we have the majority of the white taken off. Like I said, I like to keep mine on the mat before I do anything. I'll put the transfer tape on here before I peel it off. We have 2 sections. We have the laundry today or naked tomorrow. I just take, I think it's one of my Cricut tools. It's got the curved on the end, a little point on it. And I literally just go and scrape all of these other pieces out. You don't want to dig too deep because it will hurt your mat underneath. But that has been what has been the best and fastest way for me to do this. So let me go ahead and get this all taken out, and then we're going to go ahead and get this transferred onto some transfer paper. Okay, so we have it all set. We have laundry today or naked tomorrow. I've already cut my transfer paper. I cut this because I used the full 12 by 12. This was cut at 5.5 inches for the top, because you're going to need two separate transfer papers, one for the washer, one for the dryer. And then this one was cut at about 6.5 inches. So there. So let's go ahead, and I just use regular old transfer paper. Cricut has their version, I'm sure Silhouette has their version, and then there's all sorts of. I don't do enough vinyl to buy it in bulk like some people, but I do know a lot of bloggers buy this stuff in bulk because they do a lot with vinyl. So all you're going to do is lay it over your pieces, and then I like to just kind of go down with it, just like that. Now they give you what is like a popsicle stick right here. I like to use a bone folder, so I'll actually go over everything with a bone folder. And I like to go real good so I know it transfers over just right. Alright, let's go and get the bottom one. So I'll go ahead and get this all fixed on here, and then we'll go ahead and peel it off, and it'll be ready for installation on our washer and dryer. Alright, so now that we have it cut, our transfer tape, first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you Windex your washer and dryer so it's nice and clean. There it is on the transfer tape. So we want to put it on our washer and dryer as center as possible. Looks good right about there. And then once it's on there, I take my hands. You want to be careful not to just do what I did, which is get wrinkles in it. But it's a little bit harder on a smooth, round surface. And then what you want to do is take your bone folder and make sure you get all. This will avoid bubbles or anything else. So go over it real good. It would probably stick just fine not going over it as much as I am right now, but you might have bubbles, or where I have these lines, you could have lines. Alright, once you think you have it on there good, you can go ahead and test it by kind of pulling it back and making sure it did go on there good. And then I bring it back slowly. This way, if nothing did fix, I could catch it. Alright, and then you can go back over. Like I said, sometimes you'll get little bubbles, or like here a line, and you can do one of two things. You can try working them out. Sometimes they're real easy to work out. Other times, if they're a big one, you might have to pull this portion up with your fingernail and relay it. So we'll do that. And then once we have this down, we're going to go ahead and get started on the bottom. Alright, now that the top is done, we just need to do the bottom, which is my actual washer. So once again, you want to make sure you Windex that to make sure it's all clean, and then go ahead and place it as straight as possible. And then I just take my bone folder again over it, make sure it's on there. And then you literally just peel away your transfer tape. Alright, there's a few pieces we need to go back over with our finger to get rid of all the bubbles. which is an easy fix. And the biggest key with these is to be patient. I've seen before where people freak out because they have bubbles and they push real hard on them and it will make a crease in it. So if they're a big bubble, go ahead and bring it up a little bit to get rid of it. And that will solve it too. Alright, and then I will be back and I'll show you the finished product. Alright, so there is the finished product. Laundry today or naked tomorrow. So as you can see, this was a very simple project. Took less than a half hour to complete, and it just gives a little something extra to your laundry room, which is usually a not fun task, but now when you go do it, it'll put a little smile on your face. Alright everyone, thanks for coming to the blog today. Thanks for watching all my YouTube videos. I appreciate all of you. Have a wonderful week.